What's up? We back with another episode of 411 Uncut. Today, I got a very special guest with me right now. My girl Alantra in the building. What's going on?
Hey y'all, what's going on? I'm Alantra, Unity 7 FMG Sony Orchard recording artist. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad that you're here, girl. I've been hearing the music and it's definitely bringing the vibes, honey. Very talented, not being put in one box at all. Very
Appreciate
talented.
that. Yes, thank you so much.
Yes. Now, before we get into all that good stuff, now I see that you was born in Georgia, but you actually grew up overseas.
Yes, I did. Worldwide, real foreign babe.
Okay.
I was born in Georgia, small little country town called Rennes, Georgia. If you blink, you just might miss it. Moved overseas. I actually lived in England, Germany, Japan, and then I graduated in Sicily, Italy. Now residing in Virginia. Represent for the 757.
Okay. Now what made your parents move overseas?
So my dad was in the Air Force, and I would like to say thank you for your service to all of my veterans and active duty service members. We appreciate you.
Yeah. So sometimes they say, like, what do they call the kids? Military brats? Was you a military brat?
I was. I take pride in that though.
Yes.
It was definitely an experience living overseas. So.
Man. And you said you went there literally all through grade school, high school, graduated. What was it like for you growing up overseas?
It's all I knew, honestly. So honestly, the experience was unmatched. Every 3 years, I'm going to a new school. I'm experiencing different cultures, different food, like firsthand. Always forced to adapt to change. Always making new friends, always putting myself out there. So I'm naturally like a people's person, not afraid to put myself out there because that's what I've done my whole life.
Mm-hmm. And was it a lot of kids? Where did you feel like you met a lot of like people just from all over? Where you really seasoned per se?
I would say that because so you have kids that come from all across the United States, of course, and then we would also go to school with local children. So I would go to school with Italian kids. I would go to school with Japanese children, German. All types of different kids from all over the place. Kids from Bahrain, different things like that. So it was definitely an experience. You get to just experience so many different cultures, personalities, and everything. So yeah. I think that's a great asset I got from that.
Were you in any sports or anything like that growing up?
Yes. Cheerleading, for anybody who thinks it's not, cheerleading is a sport. And I did cheerleading. I was actually the captain of the cheerleading team in Italy. I auditioned I tried out as a freshman, didn't think I would make the team, but I made varsity, so I stuck with it for the whole 4 years.
Yes. Now, do you speak any other languages?
I don't, not fluently. I know like a little bit of things like ciao bella, Italian is hi beautiful, ohayo gozaimasu, that's Japanese.
Speak it, okay.
Just a little bit of something.
A little something. Now I seen too that you actually even were doing beauty pageants too.
Yes.
Wow.
My aunt had put me in it. My first beauty pageant, I won it. That was obviously I can't really remember that experience, but it just speaks for me as a child. I was already out there doing.
Now, how old were you when you end up transitioning back to the States?
I had graduated high school, so I was 18 years old when I came back stateside.
Was it a big culture shock for you? What was that like being overseas all your life and then coming back
here?
Yeah.
So honestly speaking, when I came back overseas, it was a culture shock. I honestly felt green. I didn't know anything because overseas you have to think the military is already structured. So then you take a family over there. Most families live within a fence because you're living on base or you live in base housing. So everything is structured. They control everything. So then you come back where there's no control. Like, well, not no control, but you come back like to the stateside and there's not that structure of how to live. Everything was new to me. So I definitely had to readjust. I had to learn. I just had to learn lessons I never knew.
What made you come back? Why didn't you want to stay overseas?
Being grown. I graduated high school. I'm like, okay, I'm graduated. I want to go back to the States. Tired of my parents telling me what to do. I'm tired of doing chores. So I came back over. I was actually going to Georgia. And then I met a guy, and I stayed in Virginia. I've been there since. Yeah, 2014.
Okay, wow. So when did music play a part of everything? When you were overseas in school, like, were you singing or rapping? Did you know, like, man, I got a voice, but I don't, were you dabbling a little bit?
Yeah, so initially I started off singing in church with my grandma. And then moving overseas, I took chorus. So I would sing the national anthem, Japanese national anthem. I would sing the regular national anthem. I did retirement ceremonies. I would do at graduation. I sung the national anthem, and then from that point, once I moved back stateside, I did start doing covers. Then during my healing journey, just putting myself back together after life experiences or whatever, I started rapping. Use that as a way to express myself.
Cause I feel like it's definitely too sad. When I hear you sing, I'm like, ooh, she said she seems so sweet and nice and soft, but girl, when you start rapping, honey, you bring it out. I said, oh nah, she ain't. Don't play with her. Like I get to that.
I am a nice, genuine person, but like I said, so coming out of that healing journey is where the rap is coming from. So it comes from a lot of pain, a lot of trauma. So of course, it's like a little bit of aggression behind those vocals.
Yeah.
You know?
So you said like when you moved back to the States, it really was a culture shock for you, and you end up going through some things. Seems like.
Yeah, I did. Basically, just I'm like a naturally genuine person. So moving to Virginia, I made friends with girls who I guess they didn't understand like a real girl's girl, because that's exactly what I am. I'm a girl's girl. So they took me and my personality and being a girl's girl to say like, oh, she's trying to be like us, or she wants something, like she's pretending. Whole time that's just like who I was as a person. And then of course, I was dealing with a man. He embarrassed me a lot, basically. Just put me through a lot. So at that time, I'm dealing with things where my confidence is at its lowest. I lost all complete confidence in believing in my own self, because I was a baby trying to build a man, a baby taking care of kids, and just I lost myself while I was still trying to find myself. So I don't put myself back together now. Really just been facing myself, my trauma, looking myself in the mirror and taking accountability for the things that I allowed in my life, and I'm no longer allowing those things to hold me back or hold me down. It's all gas, no brakes now.